Hello everyone, it's great to see you again. Welcome to Chapter 5, Section 4 of the online video course Chinese Traditional Culture and Spiritual Healing. My name is James, a teacher at Guangdong University of Foreign Studies.
Professor, I feel anxious and insensitive every day. Is there any good way to improve my perception of the goodness of life?
First of all, let's see why humans easily get anxious and insensitive. Positive psychologist Mihaly, whom I have mentioned before, compared the difference between humans and animals in his famous book, Flow, the Psychology of Optional Experience. So, a hungry lion only perceives what will help it to find a gazelle, while a satiated lion concentrates fully on the warmth of the sun. Except for humans, animals do not reap the fruits of their actions. They have not evolved to the extent to feel frustration and despair. As long as there is no interference and conflicts from external environment, they can maintain harmony and experience the kind of perfection that humans call flow. The biggest difference between humans and animals is that humans have an overly developed nervous system. Humans can perceive more information than animals, which is undoubtedly beneficial to human survival and evolution. For example, a hungry lion can only perceive what will help it to find a gazelle, while a satiated lion concentrates fully on the warmth of the sun. In primitive times, humans perceived the need to store food for the future, which resulted in increasingly developed civilizations, including agriculture and animal husbandry. The less we perceive of external environment, the more dangerous situation we are in. However, the more we perceive, the more anxious and distressed we are. As the saying goes, those who know nothing fear nothing. On the contrary, those who know more fear and worry more. This is why Taoism advocates de-knowledge. In addition, humans may feel bored and insensitive towards a smooth life. Just as Schopenhauer lamented, humans feel painful if their desire is not satisfied, and boring if satisfied. Life swings like a pendulum backward and forward between pain and boredom. In short, it is extremely difficult to satisfy the physical and mental needs of human, a species at the top of the food chain. This is because humans' physiological mechanism only serves their survival and reproduction, not happiness. Since then, how should we get rid of anxiety and numbness and improve our perception of the beauty of life? Of course, there are many methods. I'd like to share with you one that originated in the East, is sought after in the West, and has become popular again in China in recent years. That is, mindfulness. Stemming from Zen training and meditation in Buddhism, mindfulness has now grown into a systematic psychological therapy. It is said that mindfulness has become the most popular way for entrepreneurs in Silicon Valley to reduce stress. What is worth mentioning is that there are 4 modules in the Health app of iPhone: mindfulness, exercise, diet, and sleep. Mindfulness means to perceive the present consciously. There is a popular and interesting explanation. The upper part of this character is today, while the lower part is heart. Put together, it reads heart of today, or the present. To practice mindfulness is to gather chaotic consciousness into present behavior, so as to purify the soul and reduce noises in it. Inner practice of being empty, advocated by Zhuangzi, which we have discussed before, is similar to mindfulness. Being empty is to subtract things in life, including desires and other disturbing thoughts. What is mindfulness? Thich Nhat Hanh told a story about eating tangerines in The Miracle of Mindfulness. I remember a number of years ago when Jim and I were first traveling together in the United States. We sat under a tree and shared a tangerine. He began to talk about what we would be doing in the future. Whenever he talked about an attractive or exciting plan, Jim would be so deeply trapped in it that he would completely forget what he was doing right. He threw a segment of tangerine into his mouth and another segment before chewing the previous one. He hardly realized he was eating a tangerine. I had to tell him, "You should eat the first segment in your mouth first." Then Jim realized what he was doing. It was as if he was not eating a tangerine at all. If he had eaten something, that is, his future plans. Thich Nhat Hanh believes that most of us fail to eat a tangerine in mindfulness and therefore cannot enjoy the pleasure of eating it. When we eat a tangerine, our mind focuses on work, housework, or other things instead of the tangerine. Therefore, we cannot fully feel its taste, and the beauty of life contained in it cannot be fully opened to us. Joe Kabat-Zinn, founder of Mindfulness Decompression, once showed the audience how to eat a raisin while practicing mindfulness in a speech. take your time with the above steps. Give yourself enough time to experience the present. When we eat raisins, we always stuffed them into our mouths and tasted their sweetness in a numb way. By practicing this method of kabakin, many audiences exclaimed they has never had such a delicious raisin before. The biggest enemy to feeling goodness is being busy. There is a very popular explanation of busyness, which is quite enlightening, though without philosophical basis. That is, the character, which means busyness, consists of soul in the left and death in the right, meaning death of the soul when put together. Busyness of the soul leads to death. The soul loses good feelings about things around it, as if having been dead. The opposite of being busy is being idle. Idleness, written in traditional Chinese, looks like moonlight penetrating through cracks in the door. We can savor the mood while seeing moonlight penetrating through the door. How beautiful it is! Only when we are idle and not busy can we feel it. Exupéry said in his famous book, The Little Prince, "It's the time you spent on your rose that makes your rose so important." Robert M. Pirsig also said in his Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, "When you want to hurry something, that means you no longer care about it and want to get on with other things. It is the time and attention you put into raisins that make your raisins so nice and delicious." This also reminds me of a story in Wuteng Huiyuan, or Zen Buddhism. Someone asked a Zen master how to practice Taoism. The Zen master replied, "Eat when you are hungry and sleep when you are sleepy." This person responded, "Cannot everyone do this?" The Zen master said, "It's different. Common people refuse to eat when eating, but instead think a lot of things, and refuse to sleep when sleeping, but instead ponder about everything." The difference between people practicing Buddhism or Taoism and ordinary people is that the former puts their heart in the present and can focus on eating or sleeping, while the latter either regret the past or worry about the future, cannot concentrate on eating or sleeping, and thus fail to enjoy the process of eating or sleeping. In fact, whether it is being empty, advocated by Zhuangzi, mindfulness, or eat when hungry and sleep when sleepy, in Zen, the purpose is to let us change from the state of doing to the state of being. In doing, we are separate from what we do. In being, we are in one with what we do. The so-called mindfulness is to change from separate body and mind into a unity of body and mind, namely, to combine our mind with our current life. If we can realize this, then we can feel the meaning and joy of life in the most ordinary things, such as bathing, cooking, and cleaning. That's why Robert M. Pirsig said, "The Buddha, the Godhead, resides quite as comfortably in the circuits of a digital computer or the gears of a cycle transmission as he does at the top of a mountain or in the petals of a flower."
We've now reached the end of section 4 of chapter 5.
Before we finish, I have some questions for you to think about. You can see them on the screen now. Please pause the video to think about them and continue when ready. 1. How do you feel about Taoism's advocation of de-knowledge? Do we fear more if we know more? 2. Create a detailed definition of mindfulness. 3. Get a raisin or something similar and follow Joe Kabakin's procedure. Then, describe your experiences. 4. Is mindfulness as simple as eat when hungry and sleep when sleepy? Why? Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.